Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Med Season 10, Episode 19 promo drama hits the hospital. Chicago Med returns with a new episode on Wednesday night that brings drama to the hospital staff. Gaffney has dealt with the nurse shortage all season, and it comes to a head with the new episode. Nurse Maggie Lockwood, played by Marlene Barrett, was sure Sharon Goodwin's Epatha Merkerson had her back, but maybe not. A TV promo for the upcoming episode suggests that Goodwin hasn't been honest with Nurse Lockwood, leading to a dust-up in the ED. The new episode, The Stories We Tell Ourselves, might be a direct tease from the source material. Hopefully, Dr. John Frost, Darren Barnett, can find a reason not to pout for the full hour. Chicago Med Season 10, Episode 19 Synopsis. Maggie and Goodwin's friendship is tested as tensions rise during the nurses' union's negotiations with the hospital. Ripley and Archer treat a skateboarder struck by an emergency vehicle. Frost helps a young boy abandoned by his mother. Reads the full synopsis for the April 23 Chicago Med episode. It's a busy night in the hospital, and there is a clear teaser about who returns to work. Dr. Mitch Ripley, Luke Mitchell, has been out recovering from his injuries. He helped save a woman and her daughter from a well, but a cave-in left Ripley badly injured. Now he is thrust back into the spotlight for the new episode. TV promo for the Chicago Med April 23 episode. Below is the footage NBC is running for the upcoming episode of Chicago Med. Maggie is upset that the hospital may not have been negotiating a new contract in good faith, while Sharon wants her to keep from making it personal. "You're one of my best friends," an upset Maggie tells Sharon. "Let's not make this personal," Sharon responds. "It already is," Maggie states. More drama to come from the One Chicago shows. Chicago Med Season 10 has 22 episodes. Following the April 23 episode, 3 new ones will air in May. The show takes a break on April 30. Chicago Med spoilers reveal characters returning to the show. The showrunner teased some exciting news about the upcoming season finale. Chicago PD season finale details were also revealed. The action is bubbling up on the cop series, and intelligence is in a tough position. The Chicago Fire cast just lost 2 series regulars. Firehouse 51 will undergo some big changes before a possible season 14 renewal. The lights of Gaffney Chicago Medical Center flickered in the late evening haze, shadows stretching long down the hallways as a hush fell over the ER. That hush wouldn't last long. Next Wednesday on an all-new Chicago Med, the promo opens on Dr. Crockett Marcel, his usually confident face etched with unease. His surgical gloves snap on as he turns to Maggie, who's standing at the trauma bay doors with a chart clutched tightly in her hands. "Gunshot wound to the chest. ETA 2 minutes, she says, her voice tight. Cut to an ambulance screeching into the bay. The doors fly open to reveal a teenage boy bleeding out, barely conscious. Dr. Archer and Dr. Charles appear over the gurney in the trauma room, exchanging tense glances. "He's gang-affiliated," says Archer. "We could have more coming." Smash cut. Blue and red police lights outside the hospital, a shouting match between 2 officers and a panicked woman. Security rushes to the doors. Inside, Bill Halstead steps back, breathing hard. A nurse brushes past him, whispering, "We've got family members on both sides in the waiting room." When one patient walks in, chaos checks in too. Meanwhile, Dr. Hannah Asher finds herself deep in a crisis of conscience. A new OB patient, heavily pregnant and battling opioid withdrawal, refuses to deliver under medical supervision. Hannah, herself in recovery, sees too much of her past in the woman's eyes. "She's gonna go into labor on the street," Hannah warns Sharon Goodwin. Goodwin folds her arms, then convinces her not to. As Hannah steps out into the alley where the woman's hiding, a gentle snowfall begins to fall. The city seems still, but the camera pushes in close on Hannah's face, her resolve crumbling. "You want to give that baby a chance," she pleads. "Then let me help." Hannah fights to save a life and face the past she's tried to forget. Back inside, Dr. Charles is running out of options with a veteran suffering from combat PTSD. The man lashes out, barricading himself in the psych ward. Staff scatter, frightened. Charles stares down the hall, his hand pressed to the glass. He trusts me. Let me go in alone, he says, voice steady. You do that. Archer says you better have a plan. Charles steps into the room. The door shuts behind him. The veteran twitches, unstable. Charles breathes slow. There's sweat on his brow. You don't have to do this, Paul, he says softly. You're not alone. A beat, silence. Then the sound of something shattering. One wrong move, and it could all fall apart. Back in the OR, Marcel fights to keep the teenage shooting victim alive. But his mind isn't just on the boy. It's on the boy's older brother, a former patient he once saved, who now stands in the gallery above, screaming threats at someone across the room. If he dies, I'm gonna make sure the whole city hears about it. Crockett, focus. A scrub nurse yells. I am focused, he shouts, even as his hands tremble. When emotions run this high, even the best can crack. Elsewhere, Will Halstead is dragged into a case that hits too close to home. A young woman comes in suffering from a mysterious neurological illness. Her mother insists it's Lyme disease. The tests say otherwise, but Will's instincts tell him not to trust the chart. I've seen this before, he says to Maggie. You saying the lab's wrong? I'm saying we've been looking in the wrong place. In a hushed moment, he pulls Sharon aside. I treated a woman like this 6 years ago. She died. I'm not letting that happen again. Will risks it all on a hunch, even if it costs him his career. In a side plot, Maggie receives a visit from her estranged daughter Vanessa. It's unexpected. There's pain in both their faces. I didn't come here to argue, Vanessa says. I came to tell you something. Then say it. I'm pregnant. The promo pauses on Maggie's stunned expression, lips parting in a silent gasp. And in the middle of the storm, a new life brings new questions. The final 30 seconds of the promo are pure adrenaline, security trying to separate rival families in the ER, Crockett screaming clamp now in the OR, Charles reaching for the veteran's trembling hand, Hannah crying in the alley as the mother doubles over in pain. And in the waiting room, a gunshot rings out. Screams. Will dives to the floor. Cut to black. This hospital has seen a lot, but nothing like this. Cue the final title card as the music swells. Chicago Med. Season 10, Episode 19, Critical Ties. Next Wednesday, 8/7 on NBC. Drama hits the hospital.